Happy rainy Monday from Los Angeles, California. My name is Michelle Chua. Welcome to Hatha Yoga. For the spinal twisty class of clearing the energy channels, especially the main chakras and the digestive system, grab a couple of blocks, a strap, and you may want a blanket as well. Let's begin in some form of Virasana or hero's pose, in which you set your knees in front of you if that's appropriate in your body. You could sit on a block or two in between your ankles or directly on your calves. Just make sure that you're aligning your knees safely by having your toes pointing straight back, where the feet are not turned out or turned in, that the knees are no wider apart than your hip distance. Take a moment to arrive in your yoga space. Ground through your two sitting bones as evenly as you can so that you can lift up from the bottom of your spine to your crown. Here's a very succinct quote from Eckhart Tolle. If uncertainty is unacceptable to you, it turns into fear. If it is perfectly acceptable, it turns into increased aliveness, alertness, and creativity. I'll read it one more time. If uncertainty is unacceptable to you, it turns into fear. If it is perfectly acceptable, it turns into increased aliveness, alertness, and creativity. It's so human and personally saying, quite challenging sometimes to feel uncomfortable with not knowing. How do we find some ease as we move into the future, which is always unknown, and instead embrace the beauty of there being such a wide variety of possibilities? Here's a question you might digest for this practice. How do you let go of the burden of worry and self-doubt to practice self-trust and trust in the flow of life, so that you open yourself up to the flow of inspired action coming from love rather than from fear? So let's take a moment to check in with ourselves. As you're sitting still, you might close your eyes. If it helps to bring more attention to your body, you might rest your left hand on your chest and your right hand on your belly. Notice how you're feeling in different areas of your physical body right now, starting anywhere that's really calling your attention, if any. As you cultivate an attitude of non-judgment and rather caring curiosity, notice if there are any areas of tension or anything that might just be asking for your nurturing. Assessing your physical state as a whole. Now begin to witness the flow of your natural breath. Noticing the sensations of the breath. Becoming more in tune with how you feel right now energetically. Now bring your awareness to your mind. And for the next few moments, I invite you to observe any activity in your mind. Sensing if your mind feels focused or unfocused, as well as how you're feeling emotionally. Being present with just what is in your mind and emotions. Let's gather in a deeper breath, slowly through the nose. Find the very top of your inhalation and maybe linger there for a few seconds without straining without tensing the body. And then through your lips, slowly empty the breath. Taking your time to find the very bottom and holding the breath out for a few seconds as you can comfortably. And then let in an even deeper, gently slower inhalation, sensing even the backs of your lungs pressing the back wall of your rib cage, the pit of your belly gently expanding, your heart center rising. Once again, hold the breath in for a few seconds, and this time, see if you can maybe sip in a little more air. And when you're ready, out through the mouth again. Take your time, releasing any last bit of stagnant air from your lungs. Hold the breath out on empty for a few seconds. And on your own, try this again. Feeling the clarity of letting go of any last bit of tension, any heavy energy from the mind, body, or heart. And now offering gratitude for the chance to connect your inner and outer being through your practice of yoga today. And appreciating anything that you find as enrichment for your life right now, in any small way. And so as we stoke love, the energy of love through gratitude, now what inspires you to call forth? What is your intention for today's practice? As you say that to yourself mentally or out loud, begin to breathe in the feeling tone of it. And as well, invite you to choose someone that you care about. Maybe it's a group of someone's, a community, or a cause that you might dedicate this particular practice to as a means of spreading the love. And with that, let's join our voices, clearing your throat chakra of truth, alignment to self, and creating resonance together by chanting Om 3 times. So inhale down to the pit of your belly. If it's comfortable enough for you, I invite you to breathe with your lips closed. So just in and out through the nose and sliding your hands down to your stomach. Focus on breathing into the belly where you accentuate your exhalations. So that as you breathe out, you draw your belly inward towards the spine, starting to become percussive with the exhalations so they're active like a drum. We're going to begin a breathing technique that is heating, cultivates Agni, your digestive fire, and it's called breath of fire or Kapalabhati Pranayama. So we're gonna pulse the breath as rhythmically brisk as you can at your pace. Exhale, 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 each time pulling the belly in towards the spine, in towards the spine. So let's try 30 counts of that. Count on your own. And when you finish the 30th inhale, at the exhale, lift your pelvic floor, draw your lower belly in towards your heart, maybe even gently tuck the chin towards the chest as you lengthen the back of the neck, and then hold the breath for as long as you comfortably can before exhaling and relaxing. So we're going to try 2 rounds of 30. I'll guide that ending 30th one if we're about at the same pace. So count on your own. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Breath of fire. Ready? Begin. When you get to 30, inhaling, holding the breath in, lift the pelvic floor, draw your navel towards the spine and towards your heart, drop chin towards the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. And when you can't comfortably hold it in anymore, slowly let it out through the mouth, relax to natural breathing, and pause a moment to observe what you're experiencing. So these 3 holds are energy locks. Let's try the last round of 30. Ready? Begin. When you get to 30, inhale, hold the breath in, lift your pelvic floor, draw your navel in and up towards the heart, chin towards the chest, lengthen the back of the neck, hold for as long as you comfortably can. And when you can't anymore, exhale through the mouth, relax into natural breath, and pause a moment to observe. Then let's begin the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, calming the nervous system, inviting a steady mental focus, and warming up the body for our asanas, our postures. So as you continue to breathe just through your nose, softly narrow or constrict the back of your throat to invite a very gentle and smooth, subtle, whispering sound to your breath. Sort of like very soft ocean waves rising and falling that you could listen to as a way to place your attention in the present moment. So keep sustaining and balancing the breath in and out just like that. And let's make our way to a standing forward fold. You may want to have your blocks at the top of your mat on either side. And as you're coming into a forward fold, separate your feet hips distance apart and parallel to each other. Choose any version of the forward fold that helps you to just come into your body with ease, opening up the back body here. You might bend the knees generously so the spine can fall and unwind more easily, and hold opposite elbows, maybe swaying your spine side to side, maybe shaking and nodding your head to release any tension along your neck. Or you might opt to open up the fronts of your shoulders by reaching the hands behind your lower back to clasp or holding a strap between your hands. Sense the quality of your breath here. Keep going with that rhythmic ocean wave sound. So that even though you change your postures, your focus is not disrupted. Use the sound of your breath as a thread of present moment awareness. Now let's place the fingertips either on your legs, blocks in front of your feet, or the ground. As you engage the abdomen, inhale, lengthen your spine forward towards a flat back, sliding the shoulders back. Exhale, drop your head and fold towards your legs. Keep leaning forward. One more time, press with your hands and inhale, stretch your spine forward into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, bow again into Uttanasana, forward fold. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise all the way up to stand. But keep the arms apart like you're holding a block between your palms. Plug the shoulders down. And as you keep your feet and hips still, begin to twist to your right. So you're just turning your rib cage, but not your pelvis. Then open your arms wide apart like a T, sending the shoulders down your back. Inhale, press through both feet and raise your arms, turning your chest forward again. And then exhale, keep your hips facing forward, but turn your chest to the left into another spinal twist, opening your arms and relaxing the shoulders down. Let's try that once more. Inhale, lift up, relax the shoulders, keep your hip bones facing forward, and exhale, rotate your rib cage to the right. Press your shoulders down. Inhale the arms up, standing a little taller. Exhale, rotate your rib cage to the left so that you're twisting at your waistline but not at your hips. Inhale the arms up. And this time, join your hands together at your heart. Let's prepare for our first series of sun salutations. Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and gently coil your chest up into a light back bend. Exhale, bend your knees if you need as you bow forward towards your legs. Place your fingertips on the ground and inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. As you hold your breath, step into your version of plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, sticking your tailbone up in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide your belly to the ground and coil your chest up into Cobra Pose. Exhale, lift your pelvis back into Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee, gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Press to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms forward, rising again into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, join your hands to meet at your heart center. Once more, side two, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow from your hips in Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step the right knee back. Gaze up in Anjaneyasana. As you hold your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, Ashtangasana, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Cobra, slide to the floor, coil your chest up. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, lift your hips back. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb, lower left knee, gaze up. Exhale, step left foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead on Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, join your hands from your crown center to your heart center in Padasana. Second series of sun salutes is Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Press your fingertips down and inhale, lengthen forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Step into your version of plank pose, but this time as you activate your belly, glide forward, exhale into Chaturanga Dandasana, hugging your elbows towards your side ribs. Then inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Letting your body be still. Steady your eyes onto one focal point and smoothen out slow 3 breaths. When you finish the third exhalation, on empty breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mats. Uttanasana. Press with your hands. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Root down to your feet. Inhale to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale your hands together in Padasana. Once more, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank or lightly float into Chaturanga Dandasana if you practice jumping. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Let's pause, be still, focusing on your breathing. 3 breaths. After you've emptied the 3rd breath, walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Moving on to our last series of sun salutes is Surya Namaskar B. Starting in chair, so bring the inner edges of your big toes to touch. Empty this breath. As you inhale, bend your knees together to touch and maybe graze the floor with your fingertips, keeping your hips that low as you shift your shins back. Then raise the arms. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, shift your weight forward and hinge from your hips. Uttanasana. Press with your hands again. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank or float to Chaturanga. Take it through your vinyasa here. When you arrive in Downward Dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you, keeping your hips leveled. Exhale, softly step the foot beside your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior One. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. From downward facing, side 2. Keep your hips leveled. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb. Spin your right heel down. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Again, in Adho Mukha Svanasana, Downward Dog. Let's hold still, cultivating stillness and focus and steady breath for 3 cycles of breath. When you've emptied the 3rd, walk or float to the front of your mat and let your feet come together there. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit into Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale to rise up. Separate your feet hips width apart, parallel to each other, and bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, hinge from your hips and try to cultivate the feeling of a flat back. Tilting your weight towards the fronts of your heels rather than the back edges of your heels. Then place your left hand front and center of your feet on a block or the floor. Place your right hand on the center of your lower back. And as you breathe in, lengthen the top of your head forward so your spine traces the midline of your mat. Put a slight bend in the knees if you've got any lower back issues. And without turning the pelvis, exhale, begin to rotate your chest to the right. Keep the 2 hips leveled, and maybe raise the right arm up for 3 more breaths. Inhale, stretch from the base of your spine through the top of your head. Exhale, keep your hips leveled and reach up to your right fingertips, opening the front of your right shoulder. Set your right hand down in place of the left. Place the left hand on the center of your lower back. And inhale, stretch the crown of your head forward. Draw the shoulders down the back. Keep your hips leveled, and exhale, at your waistline, begin to twist to the left. Maybe raise the left arm up and use the reach of your left hand towards the sky to broaden your left collarbone from the sternum. One more full breath. Please step back to downward facing dog. Downward dog. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you, and this time keep your shoulders leveled. As you exhale to touch your right knee, your left elbow in plank. Step your right foot beside your right thumb and stay on the ball of your left foot. Inhale, rise up to crescent pose. Let in a full cycle of breath here as you feel your spine lengthen through both ends. Then spin your left heel to the ground and align your right heel to the arch of your left foot. Keep your right knee bent, and from your right shoulder, rotate the right palm to face up. Raise both arms overhead and side bend towards your back wall. Extended peaceful warrior. So as the left hand is holding the right wrist, keep bending your right knee to trace the center line of your mat. Breathing into the right side of your torso in a lateral extension of your spine. 2 more breaths. Rising up, let's prepare for extended triangle. Straighten your right leg, glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear wall. Reach for the horizon with your right hand before setting the hand on the right side of your right shin on a block of the floor. If either one is too low for you to breathe freely, you can place the right hand higher up on your right leg. Just make sure you're not pushing into your knee. As you raise your left arm, spin your chest slightly to face the sky and tack the crease of your right hip back towards your left outer heel. Checking in with a breath. Spin your left tricep or outer upper arm to face the left wall, then reach the left arm overhead towards the front of the room while sending both of your shoulders down your back ribs. Utthita Trikonasana. As you land your eyes on one focal point, let's tune into 3 more deep breaths. Now gaze down at your right toes. Place your hands on blocks or the floor to frame your right ankle. Then step your right foot to the right about 5 to 6 more inches. Walk your left foot forward about 1/3 shorter stance. Grounding both feet entirely with legs straight, let's prepare for twisting triangle. Now imagine you have a 3rd block and that you could balance it wide across the lowest part of your lower back like this. So keep your hips leveled in that way. Leave the left hand down under the left shoulder. And as you firm down to your feet, activate the muscles in your legs and your belly. With your right thumb, hook the crease of your right outer hip back. And inhale, draw the crown of your head forward down the center of your mat. Keep your pelvis still. And exhale, begin to rotate your chest to the right, maybe raising your right arm in Parita Trikonasana. Landing your eyes on one focal point. If your balance feels pretty stable and you want to go further into the twist, you could place your left hand on the right side of your front foot, whether it's on a block or the floor. Let's listen in for 3 or so more breaths. Staying in your twist, Gaze down at your right toes again. Then place your hands on your blocks or the floor to frame your right foot, preparing to bow in pyramid pose. Root down through toes spread, and inhale, lift your chest forward. Keep your shoulders away from the neck as you're exhaling to bow little by little from your hips. Parsvottanasana. This combination of laterally extending the spine to create a little more length for the twist, then spinal twisting, and then forward folding, which then compresses the area of the stomach. Really great combination for stimulating digestive flow. One more breath. Now take your blocks with you if you're using them and place them about 1 foot in front of your right foot. Gaze ahead of your blocks and lean into Warrior 3 with the hands down. Now flexing your left foot, imagine that you're actively pressing against the back wall with the instep of your foot, creating a horizontal line down the center of your body. Again, imagine there's a third block you're bouncing across your lower back. Use your right thumb. Before you use your right thumb, place your left hand a foot in front of your right big toe. Now keep your legs in their separate lanes without crisscrossing them. Use your right thumb to hook the right outer hip back, and inhale, press through the instep of the left foot and stretch the top of your head forward. Now hug the hips still and exhale, begin to twist to the right again, now entering twisting half moon pose. Inhale, lengthen through the center line of your body. Exhale, continue to rotate your rib cage. Harita Ardha Chandrasana. Last 3 breaths here. Stay in your twist, look down at your blocks, set your 2 hands down, and bow towards your right shin in standing split. Regardless of how high or low you lift your left leg, it's more important that you're trying to balance the height of your hips to support your lower back. Optional to walk your hands back closer to your right ankle or to hold the right calf with 1 or 2 hands. You can let your head just hang free. So there's a feeling of surrender throughout your spine, especially your neck. Setting your hands to frame your right ankle, please step back to downward facing dog. You might choose to lower through a vinyasa, take a round of cat-cow, or pause in child's pose first. Tuning in for a few breaths. Notice how you feel. Now keeping your shoulders both leveled in height. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. And exhale, touch left knee to right elbow in plank pose. Step your left foot beside your left thumb and stay on the ball of your right foot. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Full cycle of breath here. Then spin your right heel down and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Keep your left knee bent and raise both arms overhead. With your right hand, take hold of your left wrist and side bend towards the rear of your mat in peaceful warrior. Breathe a little deeper along the left side of your torso and this lateral extension of your spine. Rising up, let's prepare for extended triangles. Straighten both legs. Glide your hips sideways towards your rear wall and reach for the horizon with your left hand before lowering it to the left side of your left leg or high up on your leg. Turning your chest towards the sky, rotate your right tricep to face your right wall. Then reach your right arm overhead towards the front of your room, sending both shoulders down your back, pressing the left hip crease back towards your right outer heel. Full inhale. Listen to the exhale as you smoothen it out. 3 more cycles of breath in Utthita Trikonasana. As you stay in this asana, gaze down at your left toes. Then lower your hands on blocks of the floor to frame your left ankle. Walk your left foot to the left about 5 to 6 more inches. And step your right foot forward 1/3 shorter stance, dropping the heel. As both your hips face forward, firm down to your feet and engage the muscles in your legs and belly. Imagine you're balancing a 3rd block wide across the lowest part of your lower back. Then inhale, lengthen the top of your head forward. Keep your right hand down and use the left thumb to hook the left outer hip back while you twist to the left. Maybe raising your left arm. Twisting triangle pose. Hatha Trikonasana. As you root down to your feet, use the inhales to continue lengthening your spine forward, drawing your shoulders down your back. And with the exhales, explore further rotating your chest. You might feel the stability to be able to step the right hand on the left side of your left foot. About 3 more breaths. Staying in your twist, gaze down at your left toes again. Then lower your hands on your blocks of the floor to frame it. Pyramid pose. Inhale, lift your heart forward. Keep it slightly lifted as you're exhaling to fold from your hips. Parsvottanasana. Walk your hands about a foot in front of your left foot on blocks of the floor. Gaze past your hands and rock forward into Virabhadrasana 3, lifting from the inseam of your right leg. Again, imagine you're balancing a 3rd block across your lower back. Flex your right foot and press firmly towards the rear wall as you lengthen your crown towards the front wall. Let's prepare for another twist. Walk the right hand about 1 foot in front of your left big toe. Keep your legs in their 2 separate lanes and inhale, lengthen further through the midline of your body. Exhale, hug your hips still towards your midline and rotate your chest to the left. You might hook the left hip with the left thumb again, and you might raise the left arm up. Parita Ardha Chandrasana, twisting half moon pose. Deep inhale, long, steady exhale. Let your body feel the balance you're creating through the breath. Staying in your asana, gaze down towards your blocks and lower both hands. Keep lifting your right leg and squaring your hips as you bow towards your left shin in standing split. Maybe you walk the hands closer to your left leg. Maybe you wrap an arm or 2 around the calf. Whether you choose to flow or take a moment to rest, let's meet in a few breaths at downward facing dog. Tuning in to your energy body by sensing the quality of your breath. Empty this breath, then walk or float to the front of your mat. Let your feet come together to touch and inhale to Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees together. Inhale into chair pose, and let's add a twist. Join your hands at your heart. Keep your knees equidistant to the front of your mat as you turn your chest to the right. Optional to hook your left elbow outside your right thigh. Think of tacking your right hip back as you rotate your left ribs towards your right wall, while sending your shoulders down your back ribs. Stay here in twisting chair for about 5 more breaths, Hatha Utkatasana, or if you practice twisting crow arm balance, you can plant your hands along the right edge of your mat with fingertips facing the right wall. Keep the twist and stack your right thigh across your 2 upper arms as you bend your elbows towards the left wall, like Chaturanga Dandasana. If your feet are off the floor in twisting crow, you might splay the legs apart like an L shape, entering Ekapada Kundinyasana 1. Wherever you're at, finish your 5 cycles of breath. And let's meet in chair pose, through center, arms towards the sky. Then mountain pose with hands at your hearts. Maybe close the eyes a moment and allow a couple of deep breaths. With your feet touching and your knees touching, inhale back to Utkatasana. Join your hands, and at your waistline, not your hips, begin to twist to your left in Parita Utkatasana, twisting chair. If possible, go for the same variation of your twist that you took on the first side. You might go towards the arm balance of twisting Bakasana. Maybe splay the legs into Ekapada Kundinyasana 1. 5 breaths. Eventually, let's meet in center in chair. Arms overhead, Utkatasana. This time, rise to stand in a gentle back bend with your hands on your lower back. Separating the feet hips width apart, parallel to each other. Lift your chest and peel your shoulder heads behind you. Arching the back from right under your shoulder blades. Spin your inner thighs slightly to face your rear wall as your feet stay parallel. Wide across your heart space, one more full breath in. Exhale to rise up, and let's meet sitting down at the center of your mat. Take a block with you, and let's prepare for our last 2 back bends, starting in bridge pose. So as you hug the skinniest width of the block between your knees and thighs, separate your feet as wide apart as your knees and parallel your feet to each other. Firmly ground through the 4 corners of each foot and sit tall as you raise your arms forward with the palms face up. Then take your time, slow deep breaths to slowly descend. as if lowering one vertebra at a time to the floor. When you eventually lower your head to the ground, with your arms close to your sides, slide your heels back until you could almost touch them with your fingertips, but not. Ground the backs of your shoulders like you're grounding your feet and tilt your chin slightly away from your chest. Hugging the block. When you're ready, inhale, lift your pelvis off the floor. Stretch the fronts of your thighs forward and spin your inner thighs slightly towards the ground while isometrically dragging your heels back towards your glutes. Stay for another 5 to 8 breaths in bridge pose. Walking the upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Keep your arms straight, and if your hands touch, consider interlacing your fingers too. Full breaths. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana is bridge pose in Sanskrit. When you're ready to come down, with an exhalation, slowly lower the spine and pelvis. Don't hug your knees into your chest just yet. Pause where you are for 3 breaths. Decide if you'll come up the same way on your own again in bridge pose, with or without a block, or take a more resting version of restorative bridge by placing the block under your sacrum, or if you normally practice upward facing bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can place your hands alongside your ears and take it on your own. Whatever your last back bend, count 5 to 10 breaths before coming down. And this time when you lower, wrap your right leg around your left leg like eagle pose and slide your hips towards the right edge of your mat, about 5 more inches to the right. Open your right arm on the floor, wide out to the right, and grounding that shoulder, you might gaze past it and lift your feet and begin to twist to your left, dropping your knees. Now, if your right shoulder starts to lift off the floor, you've gone too far in the twist. So to prevent that, you could put a pillow or your blocks under the outside of your left leg. Draw your right outer hip forward towards the front of your mat. And let's exhale a little slower than the inhale. Sensing the feeling of release, letting go. 4 more breaths. And surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the gently unravel onto your back. Switch the left leg over the right. Slide your hips closer to the left edge of your mat. And open your left arm wide on the ground. Keeping your left shoulder on the earth, lift your feet and slowly drop your knees to the right in your spinal twist. Remember, you could place a prop to catch your legs if needed. Send your left outer hip forward to create a little more traction to release the lower back. Long clearing exhalations. About 4 more breaths.
And surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love.
When you're ready, roll onto your back and splay your knees apart, either in happy baby pose, catching your outer shins or feet, or straddling your legs wide, maybe clasping your big toes, or resting your arms on your inner thighs. Whichever the pose, ground your head, shoulders, and tailbone. Take a few more clearing exhales, maybe lion's breath, where you stick out your tongue, or just audible sighs or fluttering the lips. Sliding your hands to your outer thighs, draw your bent knees together into your chest, rocking in any direction. Follow your path of least resistance to rising up to sit. Straightening your legs in front of you for seated forward fold. You might opt to hold a strap around the balls of your feet as an extension of your arms. Flex your feet and press the insteps forward as you activate your quadriceps. Root your sitting bones down and lengthen from the bottom of your spine to the back of your skull. Breathe in. Exhale, little by little, hinge forward from your hips. If you're not using a strap, and you can do so without rounding your back, clasp your big toes with your peace fingers. Last 3 breaths in Paschimottanasana. Then root down to your hips and begin to lift your chest. Inhale to rise up. Please find a comfortable way to sit for a relaxing, grounding breathing technique to bring us towards Shavasana and meditation. You might like to prop your pelvis up on 2 blocks, on a blanket, or none at all. Let your spine be tall and your body relaxed. For alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. This also helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain and help you attune to your subtle energy body, cultivating intuition. Continue breathing just through your nose, very slow, gentle breaths. And rest your left hand on your lap. For grounding mudra, you could bring the thumb and first fingers to touch with a palm face down. Or an energizing mudra, you can place your hands in a peace sign with the palm face up, your left hand. Now the right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring finger in Vishnu mudra. Eventually, you might close your eyes as we practice this. We'll be using the right thumb to close the right nostril and the right pinky finger and ring finger to close the left nostril. When we alternate nostrils to breathe, let's practice 3 cycles of this breathing together, then 2 cycles on your own. Prepare by exhaling and holding the breath out. Right thumb, close right nostril. Inhale through left. Hold the breath. Close left. Exhale right. Hold the breath. Inhale right, hold, close right, exhale left, hold. Round two, inhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Close left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Close right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles. Take your time, finish at your pace. When you do, rest both hands on your lap, breathe naturally, and observe how you're feeling. And slowly begin to lower your body to the ground, lying down into a comfortable resting pose, corpse pose, for a few minutes in Shavasana. There, close your eyes, let your body be still, your breath natural. As you drop your attention deeper and deeper inward to your inner source of peace. As you continue to rest a little longer in Shavasana, with eyes closed, I invite you to begin scanning your body, noticing sensations, and observing your physical state. Tune into how your body wants to begin moving and be gentle with it, slowly starting with small parts of the body, easing into simple stretch. Gradually turning over onto your right side and resting your head. Pausing in this fetal position, a symbol of rebirth, as corpse pose represents death, the release or shedding of the old energies, and now awakening to what your intention was, what you're inviting in. Sense the way your body is naturally breathing here. And become aware of your energy. Pressing your hands into the ground, slowly lift your body up, finding a comfortable way to sit tall, grounded, and relaxed for 5 minutes in meditation. Place your hands in a mudra of your choice, one that offers the feeling of inner balance. Equanimity is stacking the palms face up on the center of your lap with thumb tips touching. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead. Let's begin. tuning into your mind and your emotional state. Notice how you feel in this dimension of your being. Maybe bring your palms to meet at your heart as you allow a moment to appreciate anything that comes to mind. Recentering on your intention for this practice. And remembering who or what you chose to dedicate this practice to. And let's close by chanting Om 3 times, sensing your connection with life force energy that abounds within each of us and all around us. Inhale deeply. Bowing in, honoring the guidance within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.